Praise Yahweh. My name is Shanera Hurley, and this is my testimony on how I became part of the Infallible True Church. It all started about a couple months ago, where I was planning to take my own life. That day, my plans were to spend time with my family and spend time with my friends as a goodbye. And then that night, I would take my own life. I decided to do it at night because I didn't want nobody stopping me. And I knew that if I did it during the day, I knew somebody was going to be there to stop me. So I decided to do it at night. And as the day progressed, my thoughts of suicide also progressed. And my thoughts were, you're going to do it, you're going to kill yourself, like this is the best thing you could do, nobody's going to care, nobody loves you anyways, nobody's going to miss you, everybody's going to be happy, you're going to be less of a burden to everybody. And like, even though I'll be like at the dinner table laughing with my family and stuff like that, my thoughts would be that like they don't care about you. And as the day progressed, I was on my phone on Instagram, and Jeremiah's name popped up on my Instagram, and it came out like, oh, he's on your contacts, invite him to Instagram, do you want to send an invite so that he can download Instagram and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, I forgot about him. So I texted him because something told me to text him. Something was like, text him. So I was like, hey, how you been? It's been a long time and stuff like that. And we started talking about God. And we had a really good conversation talking about God and what we each believe in. And the more we talked about it, the more it made sense to me about what he was talking about. And the more I wanted to know about what he believed in and stuff like that. And that day, I didn't even like notice, like the more I talked to him about God and about his church, because he started talking about the church, and the church sounds so lovely, and I wanted to visit and everything. And the more we talked about God, the more the day went by, and the more my thoughts weren't there, the less my suicidal thoughts were there. And so I ended up not taking my own life that night, and we kept talking about visiting the church. Like, he invited me to visit the church, and we kept talking about it. And I was like, yeah, I'll go visit. But my plans weren't to go visit as soon as I did. My plans were to visit like in the summer or whenever I have time, because I was going to college and working 2 jobs, which I didn't have time for anything. I feel like I didn't have time. But something told me, like, make time, do what you need to do. So I was like, because I really wanted to visit it. I really wanted to visit the church. So I made time for it, and it was spring break, and I asked my 2 jobs to give me the okay to go. So they gave me the okay to come for a week. So my plans were to stay here for a week and then go back home to my life, to college and working 2 jobs and stuff like that. So my plans were to come to Texas for just a week from Ohio. And I took the trip. I came to Texas and I visited the church, and I loved it, and I wanted to stay. My heart was telling me to stay, but my mind was like, you have a family back home, you have to go back home, you have to be responsible. The more I went to church and the more I hear the preachings were like, sometimes you have to leave everything behind and start all over, or leave everything behind and follow God, and stuff like that. And the more I heard about it, the more like I was understanding, like, this is where God wants me. But then again, my college and my jobs were like, I was like, like I can't just quit my whole life and just start all over. So I started praying, and I was like, God, if you want me here, then please give me some signs that you want me here. Like, I want to be for sure, like 100% sure that this is where you want me to be. And Jeremiah started talking to me. He was like, why don't you just stay for a little bit longer, because you'd really like the church. And I was like, yeah, sure. but I have to wait till my school closes, if my school closes with the whole corona thing. And my school closed 2 days after I told him that. So I was like, okay, well, I have to wait I was putting excuses, like I have to wait for my job, and my jobs gave me the okay to stay. And I was like, okay, then I'm gonna stay for another week. So my plans were to stay for another week and then go back home again. And the more I stayed here, the more the preachings were like, leave everything behind and follow God, or leave everything behind and stay and stuff like that. And the more I was understanding, like, this is what you want me to do. So there was a night that I prayed to God, and I was like, God, I know what you want me to do, and I will do whatever you want me to do. So I was like, but if you're 100% sure, I want to be 100% sure this is what you want me to do. I just don't want to leave everything behind and think that this is what you want me to do, but it is not. So I had a dream that this is what he wanted me to do. This is the church that he wanted me to be in. So the next day, I told my parents that I wasn't coming back home. I left everything behind, and I got baptized, and I got married to Jeremiah. And I love the church. I love the people. I love everything here, and I can never be any happier.